What's happening, guys? Welcome to the video. Footage you're seeing on screen is from yesterday's chest and arm session. So this one is a little more high volume for the chest and then some heavy overload for the arms. Pretty good workout, honestly. My right shoulder's still been giving me a little bit of trouble, so having to keep an eye on that. Sub movements are fine, sub movements are not so fine. So we're just taking things as they go. So you got this to watch. Well, we talk about recommendations for new competitors. So I put a poll up on my Instagram the other day asking what kind of content some people want to see on YouTube, and this one was pretty popular. So obviously there is some people out there that want to know, what do I recommend if they're new to competing, if they're new to getting on stage, and all that good stuff. So first things first, guys, the biggest thing you need to understand with competing is that you need to learn and do some research about competing. Um, Competing's now become kind of the cool thing to do, seems to be what everyone's doing these days, but a lot of people don't have a fully, grasp what goes into competing, what the goal should be when you're competing, and all that kind of stuff. So I really encourage you to learn about competing. Do your research, figure out what's involved in it. What is a prep like? What is show day like? What is the dieting process like? What is it like after the show when you rebound and when you're trying to come out of the diet? Like, there's so many things that people jump into it without a full understanding. And it's interesting that, bodybuilding is one of the few sports that people just look at and they just assume they can do. You know what I mean? Like, you would never look at a professional basketball player and then be like, okay, in 3 months I'm gonna play in the NBA. But people will look at someone's photos on stage and then in 3 months and then say, in 3 months I want to be on that stage. I want to look like that without a full understanding of what's involved at all. So, first things first, learn, do some research, get an understanding, and then go from there. Second point I want to talk about as far as recommendations for new competitors is to go to shows. So many people want to compete, never been to a show, no clue, what's involved at all. When I say prejudging or finals, they have no idea. Or when I say, like, oh, you have to get a tan really early in the morning, they just have no clue. So go to a show, learn the judging, learn what the MC is going to say, learn how the stage is, learn the audience, just, and every show is going to be different, obviously, but at least get an idea of what's expected of you, right? Taking it back to the basketball, it's like you not going to a basketball game and then just expecting to be good and understand how it's going to be played and all that kind of stuff. So go to a show. Please, please, please go to a show. Next up, for new competitors, I really, really encourage you to hire a coach. I'm not saying this as I'm a coach myself. I'm saying this as someone who's had a coach, has a coach, works with a coach, now coaches. I've been around coaches my entire competitive career for the most part. So I really, really, really do see the benefit in having a coach when it comes to this stuff because, there's numerous reasons. One of the big ones is, to keep you mentally sane. As you get leaner, as you lose body fat, it becomes very, very mentally taxing, mentally fatiguing. You start to question yourself and not see yourself as you are. We often don't see ourselves as lean as we are. We see ourselves, a little fatter than we may be. And having a coach there to really keep you on track, encourage you, give you the positive feedback, the constructive criticism, all that good stuff is very, very important. Some people think they're too good for coaches, but you look at any professional, not just athletes, because even businessmen, they have business coaches and everything too. But we're talking about the sport. You look at all the top pros, they all have coaches. They do. They all have people that they work with, people that they, bounce ideas off of and all that good stuff. So I do see the value in having a coach. And I think as a first-time competitor, as a new competitor, there's, even more value in having a coach. Another point I want to touch on, guys, is networking. I think this is really important and something that I can say that I've been, quite good at as an athlete, as a coach, as a business. is reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to other competitors. Don't be afraid to, bounce ideas off people and get an idea for what they're going through, or maybe the program look, my camera just fell. That's awesome. um, but network, right? Talk to the promoters, talk to the photographers, talk to the tanning people, talk to, other competitors, and just try to immerse yourself in everything, because you're only going to learn more, you're only going to get better, and this is a sport that is pretty cutthroat, unfortunately. Even at the amateur level, it's unfortunate that some athletes feel the need to talk down to other athletes. Some coaches feel the need to talk down to other coaches. It's really shitty, in all honesty. But you also find a lot of people that are very supportive, very encouraging, that are gonna push you forward and pick you up when you're down and that kind of stuff. So do your best to try to find those people and get those people in your life, because it makes the process a lot easier. It makes it a lot more enjoyable on both ends, right? Because they're in the same boat as you, and it only makes everybody happier and better. So a lot of stuff to consider when you're a new competitor, guys, but these are just some of the things that I want you to think about. So just to recap, learn, take some time, do some research. Don't just jump into it assuming that you understand it or that you have it all figured out, because I promise you there's so much that goes into this, especially if you want to do well. Go to a show. Really, really, really make an effort to go to shows. Even if they're not local, take a weekend to go for a drive, go to a show, and learn how it's structured. It's not, and not all shows are the same too, so you can learn from different shows how they're run and just get more and more knowledge. So when you compete, it's not going to be so much of a shock and confusion, because that's the last thing you want on show day, because it's hectic enough. Third point is to hire a coach. Obviously, we touched on the benefits of having a coach, and I encourage you, whether you're a beginner or not, that investing in a coach is probably a good idea. And last but not least, network. Reach out, have conversations with people, talk to other competitors, promoters, people that are involved in the sport in various methods, and learn, right? Make some friends, make people that you can feel comfortable with having conversations with, and enjoy the ride, because sometimes it can get a little lonely. So if you have people that get it, that are in the same boat as you are, then it makes it that much better. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, please give it a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.